How y'all doing today?
Good, Neil?
I'm good.
Hey Nick, I know you put a lot of thought into messaging. With this week, have you given it any extra thought? And you don't have to tell me exactly what you're going to do in team meeting, but you have an idea.
No extra thought. I put a lot of thought into it every week. I put a lot of thought, really. I think I've told you guys that I do a lot of these thoughts like in the summer and when I have some time, so I can pick and choose messages. But things pop up in the year, and then you come up with different ones, and so. Put normal amount of thought into it, just like anything, and just like any of these other messages, and it's what we think is important for this week.
Nick, you talk about one of the advantages you have going into this game is the crowd. So, what is your message to the crowd to make things especially difficult for one of the toughest opponents you're going to face this season?
Yeah, somebody asked me last week what my message was to Jalen, like going into this game. It's his second playoff game. What's your message to Jalen? Be you. So that'd be my same message to our great fans, our great city, is just be you. The reputation of being having to come into Philadelphia and play is the reputation that we have because it is that it's intimidating and it's loud and it's hype and they're passionate fans. We got great passionate fans, and so be who you've been for the entire time the Eagles have been here. I know Jonathan Gannon always jokes around about when he was in 2017. When he was with the Vikings and they came into Lincoln Financial in the NFC Championship game, every time he talks about it, he's like, "Whoa, that was we were talking about that, and so make the other team, right? Where's the cameras? Make the other team say whoa of how like Jonathan Gannon did 5 or 6 years ago. So that'd be my message.
As far as you're concerned,
Two-part question. That's all good.
Unless I'm mistaken, this is your first conference title game that you're coaching in, right? So do you consider this the biggest game that you're coaching in your career so far?
No, I think what you would know about me and what our constant message always is our biggest game is the next game. That's the way I was raised in this profession. And when I say profession, I got raised by my dad, who was a football coach, track coach, and then just all the way through my career is the biggest game's the next game. And if you treat one game bigger than does the other games not matter, right? Does it not matter as much week 8? Then so when you treat them all the same and you go through the same preparation each game, then you don't ride the roller coaster and the wave of the season.
But that said, do you coach differently in a playoff game? Obviously, the stakes are higher. Or do you kind of approach it, like you said, just the same as any other game?
Yeah, I know you guys want me to say something different here. Like, hey, yeah, this is the biggest one ever, and we're going to do that. I'm not going to say that because then, like I said, like you can't treat things differently. Now there's different rules. Like where things with some different rules, maybe you treat a little bit different, right? And I speak of like the overtime thing and this and that, but maybe you do, maybe you don't. Like, but it's like. Again, you go through your process of everything, like what you do on this fourth down or what you do in this decision to go for it here or do something there. You've been practicing that your whole career, all throughout the year, and you've put yourself in those positions and just still. It'd be like coming out with a brand new offense or a brand new defense. Like I know San Francisco's not doing that. We're not doing that. We're here for a reason, and and we're going to stick to keep going with what got us here.
What did you change with special teams after the Packers game?
What we just found our groove a little bit. We found our groove a little bit. What I really thought was, we were playing good football on special teams. And there was a play here and there on each game. And I wouldn't say each game. There were games where we had really good games. There was a play here and there that soured the whole game, right? In our vision of what we thought was going on, right? And so we're just being more consistent. really is at the end of the day, we're being more consistent. Guys are doing a great job. We got some great guys that are having some great individual efforts. You know, Zach Pascal, Zach McPherson, Josh Jobe, Christian Ellis. You know, guys are, Kayvon Wallace. These guys are putting in, really good work. And so guys are playing really good, executing really well. Coach Clay and the special teams staff is doing a nice job putting them in position to make plays. And I just think it's just that. It's the consistency throughout the entire game.
Is this the most complete team you've ever coached?
Yeah, coached. Yeah, we had some good Mount Union teams. We had some really good Mount Union teams. That's for darn sure. But this is in the NFL. This is the most complete team that I've ever been around. We're just, and I really, the thing that makes you say that, Stacy, is that I've been taught from very young that it's O-line, D-line, O-line, D-line, O-line, D-line, O-line, D-line. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's my son's peewee game. It doesn't matter if it's a high school game. It doesn't matter if it's a college game. It doesn't matter if it's a pro game. The O-line, D-line wins games, and it sets the tone. And we got a great defensive line. We got a great offensive line. And not only do we have these pieces in place there, we also understand that we have backups and we have rotations and guys ready to step in and make plays and guys that have stepped in to make plays. But we also know this about San Francisco. They got a great O-line and D-line. And that's, you get to the NFC Championship game, that's what it's going to look like. I haven't looked at Cincinnati or Kansas City, but I'm assuming it's similar traits. And so it'll be a battle. But a lot of credit to our O-line, D-line, a lot of credit to Howie and how he's put this roster together and his staff. And Coach Stout and Coach Rocker and Coach Wash. We got a lot of guys in place that are making it possible with those guys.
What are the conversations been like with Gannon this week to try to get inside the head of Shanahan? And do you really geek out on that process? Is that something that you really like as a coach?
It's similar to the other processes, right? It's me being able to give him an offensive point of view of the things they're doing, right? And that's been the same each week. Obviously, Coach Shanahan is an unbelievable football coach. We all know that. Everybody knows that. His record speaks for itself. His accomplishments speak for itself. And I just try to give Gannon the offensive point of view. He's the expert on defense. And I'm trying to give him an offensive point of view each and every week of, what could potentially give us problems, what could in the run game or in the pass game or in protections, right? And so we talk through things just like that. And so it's been, business as usual.
Avonte Maddox was able to get out there yesterday a little bit and do some stuff for the first time in a while. How did he come out of that practice? How did he feel physically?
We're going to see a little bit more today. We feel like he's on a trajectory up, getting better every day. Today we'll tell a little bit more. But again, like I said, we're hopeful, and we'll continue to see.
Sit this out there.
The obsession that you have with situational football, where does it come from? Is there a particular coach or a particular team you're on that decides it?
It's just such a point in the game that's just that that I think the obsession is the obsession with detail, right? And that's with everything, but it's like there's some things that you just look at and it's like, can we get an edge here, right? Because maybe not everybody that does that, right? I remember when it's different in college. So there's a lot less situations. There's different things that happen because of the clock, because of some of the rules, all those different things. But, Todd Haley would talk a lot about Bill Parcells, and I felt like he would talk a ton about him, and I feel like I would get a lot of information. I obviously learned a lot from Todd, and then I felt like I was getting like just like somebody that's around me. Probably is like, man, I feel like I know Larry Karras. Like I'm getting stuff that Larry Karras did, and so similar with Todd. And so I remember like that one of the first training camp practices or training camp meetings, we had a big board with all the situations that we needed to hit, and we check them off. And then and that kind of continued, and Frank and I were really obsessed with it. And I think that when we were in San Diego together, we were really obsessed with it, and then we took it to another level there with the Chargers the Colts. And then it was just something that, I don't know, something that I just got really interested in and really, and there's just a lot that you can. It's the other thing I find, Zach, is that I'm in the offensive meeting all the time correcting the tape. Hey, we got to do this here or this there or that there. And what I found with the situational thing is it's my way to coach the entire team. As a head coach should, right? And so, when we're in here on situational Saturdays, or what we call it situational Saturdays, or teaching situations from the game, it's my way to do what I do with the offense to the special teams. It's my way to do what I do with the offense to the defense. And so, and we got a lot of guys that carry that. That's situational meeting that we have every week. There's a lot of guys in there. I mean, and my job is to groom coaches to be able to go and do it on their own as well. And so there's a lot of guys in there, and it keeps growing. And but yeah, we're obsessed with it. It's not just me. We are obsessed with it as a team.
Been able to punt? Is he back practicing punt?
He hasn't. He's done some on his own. He hasn't been back out at practice yet, though. So we're still monitoring that.
When you look at the 4 quarterbacks who are in these Final Four, 3 of them are 24 and under, just why do you think that is? I mean, obviously, using Jalen as probably your example in this case.
Well, I think first of all, I think that's great for this league that you're seeing, like, it feels like the more guys that play quarterback at a high level in this league, the more exciting this league is. Now, you might, as an opposing coach, you might not always want to say, oh, this guy's, but the more guys that are good at that position, though, it makes the game exciting. It really does. So it's great for the league. It's great. I love seeing quarterbacks develop, and because it's what it's what I grew up watching. Like, there's Dan Marino and Joe Montana and Jim Kelly. Like those were the guys, and it was and it's just good to have more guys performing at a really high level. And this year, I don't know why it is that way this year. What was it last year? Do you know what it was last year? Burrow, Mahomes, Brady, and Stafford. So it was a little bit of a mix. I don't know. Sometimes it's just the ebbs and flows of the year, the teams, and all the different things like that. But it's good. It's exciting to have some of these young guys go against each other. And I know, I don't know much what's going on in the AFC except for the teams that are playing there, but they look like they got a really cool rivalry going on there with Burrow and Mahomes. And then we got 2 young guys in the NFC. So it's exciting to see good young quarterbacks playing good football. I think that's really good for the league.
2 more, please.
Talking with Dallas yesterday.
I'm not looking at you right now, so I'm looking at John.
Talking with Dallas yesterday. He was talking about the teach tape, how you guys make him a better player. And, you've talked about it before. You put up Keenan Allen or something. I was just curious from that perspective. Do those guys ever make it on the teach tape?
Oh, heck yeah.
AJ, do your current
Heck yeah.
players make it?
Oh yeah. The teach tape is ever evolving. It's forever, forever changing, right? And so one thing I always say to them is like there's always, they know if I'm going to put up a certain route, like they know what one's coming up on, they know, like, all right, he's going to correct the curl right here. All right, here we go. We're going to see this. I don't even know what the first curl is. It doesn't matter. But they know they're going to see this route versus this look. And so what I always say to them is like, run a good route and you overtake the teach tape. You'll forever be on the teach tape. Well, that's not actually true, because number one is always being able, the first look's always going to be the very best look. And so, yeah, they always can overtake, because all you're looking for, though, John, is you're looking for an opportunity. So when you make a correction on a tape, you talk and you go over the tape and you're looking at it, and I can tell them, hey, when you're running this route right here, turn your foot a little bit in, make sure that your arch is facing back to the quarterback, make sure your body's bent, your arms are pumped, your body's bent, your nose is over your toes, and you don't make a wasted step, and you drive back to the quarterback and you use your length. All right, I'm getting very into that, but I can say that all I want. I got to be able to show them. We're visual, right? We're visual. Like, if a coach, I think that's where that came from, is like when a coach said something like that to me, I'm looking at it like this, and basically I'm closing my eyes and I'm trying to visualize that. What a great example to be able to not really say much, say what you want to say as you show them the tape. And so, to answer your question for a long answer, because I like to do that sometimes, and Bob's about to cut me off. To answer your question there, you do that because you want them to see and feel what you want them to do, right? And how their body needs to move so they can be efficient in their route.
What makes their run defense so good?
Yeah, really good players and really good coaches. I think, they have a good scheme. They play hard. They tackle well. Like, they can defeat blocks, right? You talk about football, right? Who's going to block? Who's going to tackle? Who's going to those are the physical parts of football. It's blocking, tackling, protecting the football, taking the football away, getting off blocks, right? Blocking not just at the offensive line but everywhere. And they do those things that are when we talk about a receiver, the requirement of a receiver is to catch the ball. Good, you've heard me enough, and you knew that anyway. All right. Well, it's the same thing when you want to play tough, physical brand of football. It's tackling. And so why I respect their coaches so much is because you can see their players playing with great energy, great effort, and with great fundamental detail with defeating blocks and tackling. And so a lot of respect there to their players because they got really good players, and their coaches because I can see that they're really coaching the detail.